is a window of time, a sacred space where the world is still, where the noise of life takes a step back and silence whispers to your soul. Between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., something profound happens. While others sleep, you have the rare opportunity to step into greatness. This is not just a time, this is the beginning of your day, the seed of your success. In these precious hours, you are not just waking up from sleep, you are waking up to purpose, to destiny, to the voice within you that is calling you to rise and manifest what you were born to do. Most people overlook this time, believing that the world sleeps for a reason, but those who understand the power of this moment know it is when the universe begins to listen to your intention. When you wake during these hours, you have access to something others don't. It is a time when distractions are at bay and clarity is at its peak. Your mind is at its most receptive and your spirit is free from the clutches of worldly concerns. It is in these moments when everyone else is chasing sleep that you are called to do 4 things that will transform your life. These are 4 things that will transform your life. Number 1 is pray with purpose. Align your spirit with your destiny. Number 2 is plan your day. Set clear intentions for success. Number 3 is self-reflection. Assess your growth and refine your focus. Number 4 is take action. Begin the work that brings your vision to life. There is something powerful about prayer that many underestimate, especially when it's done with intention and purpose. Prayer is not just a ritual, it's a direct connection to your Creator. A moment where your spirit is aligned with the divine, where your purpose is reaffirmed, and where your life's direction can be recalibrated. When you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the first thing you must do is connect with the source of your existence through prayer. And not just any prayer, but prayer with purpose. Think about the biblical figure of Nehemiah. When he heard about the destruction of Jerusalem's walls, he didn't just sit idly. He fasted and prayed with purpose. He asked God for guidance, for favor, and for the courage to rebuild. In those moments of prayer, Nehemiah was not only seeking help, but also aligning his heart with God's will. That's the power of prayer with purpose. It's not just about asking for things, but seeking alignment with your divine destiny. Now, when you pray in the early morning, it is not just a moment to express your gratitude or seek answers. It is a time to declare your intentions and ask for divine intervention in your life's mission. The Bible tells us in Matthew 7:7, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. Prayer in the early morning hours is the first step in positioning yourself for success. You are, in essence, knocking on the door of your future. What are you asking for? What are you seeking? Are you praying for direction, clarity, or the strength to pursue what's in your heart? When you ask with purpose, you are opening the door to what God has already prepared for you. Imagine for a moment that you are a builder standing in front of an empty plot of land. You have the vision of a grand house, but it's only an idea until you pray for the wisdom, resources, and guidance to build it. Prayer is like the blueprint for that house. It establishes the foundation, it aligns you with the divine plan, and it invites God's grace into your work. Without this alignment, you're building on shaky ground, and the winds of life will blow through your dreams, causing them to crumble. But with prayer, the foundation is solid, and every brick laid in your purpose is supported by divine wisdom. Furthermore, when you wake up and begin your day with prayer, you are setting the tone for everything that follows. It is like the pilot of an airplane charting the course before takeoff. Without that initial direction, you can easily get off track. Prayer, when done with intention, is your spiritual navigation system, guiding you through the challenges of the day and protecting you from obstacles. It helps you remain focused, knowing that no matter how difficult the road may get, you are under the protection and favor of your Creator. Think about how we often start our day rushing into tasks and responsibilities without even considering what lies ahead. The world pulls us in every direction. But in the early morning hours, when the world is quiet, it is a unique opportunity to center yourself. In those moments of solitude, when you seek God's guidance and pray with purpose, you are not only preparing your heart, but also allowing your mind to be attuned to His will. And it is in this alignment that you find the strength to face the world with confidence. Have you ever asked yourself what your purpose is, what your true calling is in this life? It's easy to get distracted by life's demands, but prayer is that sacred space where you are reminded of your true identity. Just as a farmer must wait for the right season to plant and harvest, you must wait for God's timing, trusting that every step you take in prayer is leading you closer to the fulfillment of your destiny. But that requires intentionality. Are you truly seeking His will for your life, or are you merely going through the motion? Society, and let's not forget the power of consistent prayer. It's not about praying once and expecting immediate results. It's about building a relationship with God, a relationship that grows deeper with every prayer. Consider the story of the persistent widow in Luke 18, who continuously prayed for justice until her request was granted. It teaches us that we must be persistent in our prayer, trusting that every moment spent in prayer is drawing us closer to the divine favor we see. When you wake up early, you have a unique opportunity to quiet your mind, remove distractions, and truly focus on the divine connection that will guide you through the day. This is not just about asking for material things, but about setting your spirit right, about inviting peace into your heart, and about preparing yourself for the journey ahead. Prayer with purpose is the foundation on which everything else is built. Without it, you may be chasing after wind, but with it, you are walking in divine purpose, prepared to face whatever comes your way. When you wake between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., the next step after aligning yourself spiritually through prayer is to plan your day with intentionality. Planning your day is not just about writing down tasks or creating a to-do list. It's about setting the course for your life. It's about making decisions that align with your purpose and moving toward the destiny you were designed to fulfill. Without planning, you are like a ship drifting aimlessly at sea, subject to the winds of circumstance and the whims of life. But with purpose-filled planning, you are steering that ship, knowing exactly where you're headed. The Bible teaches us in Proverbs 16:9, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. This verse illustrates that while we can set our plans, it is God who directs our steps. Planning doesn't mean you control the outcome. It means you are laying down the framework for success, and you are giving God something to guide. When you plan with purpose, you are showing faith in your goals and inviting divine guidance to lead you in the right direction. Imagine a person standing at the foot of a mountain. They have the goal to reach the summit. But without a clear plan, they might start climbing in any direction, and soon they find themselves lost or off track. But the person who plans knows where the path is, understands the necessary steps to take, and has the right tools to make it to the top. This is what planning does for you. It turns your vision into a structured reality. It removes confusion and brings focus. It prevents you from wasting time, energy, and resources on the wrong things. In real life, Look at successful leaders and entrepreneurs. Many of them didn't simply wake up and hope things would work out. They planned their steps often years in advance. For instance, when a company like Amazon was being built, Jeff Bezos didn't simply follow the trend of the day. He had a vision of what he wanted to create. He planned strategically, knowing the road would not be easy. The key was that he didn't just plan for the sake of planning. He planned with purpose, with a clear vision of the future. So, what about you? Have you taken the time to plan your day, your week, your month, or even your year? Too often, we get caught in the rush of life, moving from one task to the next without ever stopping to ask, what is my purpose in this moment? Where am I headed? You must make a habit of asking these questions before you do anything else. Without that clarity, you may end up chasing after things that do not align with your true calling. Take a look at the example of Joseph in the Bible. Joseph was a dreamer, and his dreams were clear. But he didn't just sit idly by, waiting for them to come to fruition. He made choices along the way, some of them painful choices, like being thrown into a pit by his brothers and sold into slavery. But in each moment, he chose to plan his actions. He didn't lose sight of his dream, but he adjusted his steps accordingly. In the end, his plan to remain faithful and trust in God's purpose for him led him to a position of great influence and power. Planning also requires wisdom. Proverbs 24:3-4 reminds us, by wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. If you plan without wisdom, you may build something that crumbles under pressure. But with wisdom, your plans become a solid foundation, and your journey is paved with understanding and clarity. This wisdom comes from reflection, from assessing your strengths and weaknesses, and from seeking divine guidance in your decision-making. Every great accomplishment in history, whether it's the construction of a cathedral, the building of a business empire, or the fulfillment of a personal dream, begins with a plan. But this plan isn't something that happens in an instant. It's a process, and it requires discipline. Think about the analogy of a farmer planting a seed. The farmer doesn't just throw the seed in the ground and hope it will grow. The farmer plans when to plant, how to plant, and how to nurture the seed until it bears fruit. Your plans are like those seeds. When you wake early and plan your day with intention, you are planting seeds of success that will yield results in time. Are you planting the right seeds? Are your plans aligned with your purpose, or are you simply reacting to the demands of life? You cannot wait for life to happen to you. You must plan and prepare. Because when you plan, you are making a declaration to yourself and to the universe that you are ready for what God has in store for you. It's a way of saying, I am ready to walk in my purpose. I am ready to take the necessary steps to get there. Just as a coach doesn't send a team onto the field without a game plan, you should never go into a day without a clear strategy for how you will succeed. Your plan doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be in place, ready to guide you toward your goals. And remember, planning is not about controlling every detail. It's about taking purposeful action, trusting that with God's guidance, each step will bring you closer to your destination. When you wake up in the early hours of the morning, after you've prayed and set your plans in motion, the next crucial step is self-reflection. This moment of pause is where you assess where you are in your journey, where you've come from, and most importantly, where you're headed. Self-reflection is a powerful tool that many overlook in the busyness of life, but it is vital if you are to stay aligned with your purpose. It's more than just thinking about your past actions. It's about evaluating your growth, understanding your progress, and adjusting your focus. The Bible offers wisdom in 1 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves to see whether you are in the faith. Test yourselves. This command isn't just about faith in a religious sense. It's about testing the state of your heart, your actions, and your mindset. Self-reflection is not about guilt or shame, but about honestly assessing where you are and determining whether you are moving toward your God-given destiny. Are your thoughts, words, and actions in alignment with your purpose? Are you making choices that reflect the values you want to embody? When you reflect, you're giving yourself the opportunity to adjust and grow. Think about the process of pruning in nature. A gardener carefully prunes a plant, cutting away the dead and unnecessary branches, ensuring that the plant can grow more effectively and bear more fruit. Your life works the same way. Self-reflection allows you to identify areas of your life where you need to prune. Perhaps a bad habit, a toxic relationship, or a negative mindset. Just as a plant cannot grow to its full potential without pruning, neither can you reach your full potential if you allow unhealthy influences or habits to remain unchecked. Real-life leaders often take time each day to reflect on their decisions, their actions, and their mindset. For example, before going to sleep, leaders like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett make a habit of reflecting on their day. They ask themselves, what did I accomplish? What could I have done better? This practice of self-assessment keeps them focused on continuous improvement, and it's no different for you. If you are to be successful, you must develop the habit of reflecting not only on what you did, but also on why you did it. Was it done with purpose? Was it aligned with your vision for your life? These are the questions that can spark change in your daily life. Have you ever stopped to truly examine your progress? We all have moments where we feel stuck or unsure about where we are in our journey, but that is precisely why reflection is so important. If you don't take the time to pause and assess, you risk continuing down a path that doesn't lead to your highest potential. Self-reflection allows you to correct course when necessary. The Bible reminds us in James 1:23-24, anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror and after looking at himself goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. Reflection is like that mirror. It allows you to see who you truly are, not just on the surface, but in the deeper aspects of your character and action. Self-reflection also gives you the opportunity to acknowledge your victories. Often we're so focused on what we haven't accomplished that we forget to celebrate what we've already achieved. Just as a coach evaluates a player's progress during a season, you must evaluate your own growth. Are you further along today than you were yesterday? Are you closer to becoming the person you are destined to be? Acknowledging progress, no matter how small, is crucial because it fuels your motivation to keep moving forward. Think about the story of David in the Bible. When he faced Goliath, he didn't only rely on his current abilities, he reflected on past victories. In 1 Samuel 17:37, David said, "The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." David understood the importance of reflecting on his previous triumphs, recognizing how God had been faithful in the past, and using that knowledge to propel him toward future victories. Similarly, as you reflect on your journey, you may recognize moments where God has shown up for you, provided for you, or guided you. Reflecting on these instances strengthens your faith and gives you confidence for the challenges ahead. But self-reflection isn't just about looking back. It's about looking forward with clarity. It's about asking yourself the hard questions. Am I truly living in alignment with my purpose? What do I need to change to get closer to my goals? What am I holding on to that is no longer serving me? This type of honest reflection is necessary if you are to break through the barriers that limit your potential. It helps you identify distractions and it enables you to remain focused on what truly matters. This process also requires vulnerability. You must be willing to confront the parts of yourself that may be uncomfortable. But remember, growth doesn't come from staying in your comfort zone. Just as a muscle becomes stronger by being stretched, your character is refined through self-reflection. It is in these moments of honesty with yourself that you grow the most. As you reflect, ask yourself, what is God speaking to me in this season of my life? What lessons am I learning that I need to apply to my journey? Reflecting in this way allows you to stay grounded in your purpose, to discern where God is leading you, and to ensure that you are on the right path. Self-reflection is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. It ensures that you are not simply reacting to life, but actively shaping your destiny with wisdom, faith, and clarity. It aligns your inner world with your outer world, ensuring that every step you take brings you closer to your ultimate calling. After prayer, planning, and reflection, the final key to unlocking your success is taking action. It's easy to get caught in the trap of planning, reflecting, and praying, but without action, all of that is futile. Action is the bridge between your dreams and reality. It is what transforms your intentions into results. The Bible teaches us in James 2:17, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. You can have all the faith in the world, but without putting that faith into action, you will remain stuck. Action is the proof of your belief. It is the manifestation of your trust in God's plan for your life. Think of the parable of the talents in Matthew 25:14-30. The master gives his servants different amounts of money, entrusting them to manage it while he's away. The servant who received 5 talents worked diligently, investing and doubling what he had been given. The servant with 2 talents did the same. But the one with only 1 talent, out of fear, buried it and did nothing. When the master returned, he praised the servants who took action and multiplied what they had been given. But the one who did nothing had his talent taken away. The lesson is clear. God rewards those who take action on what they have been entrusted with. If you do nothing with what God has given you, you will not see the growth, success, or abundance you desire. Action requires more than just moving forward. It requires intentional steps toward your purpose. Imagine a person standing at the edge of a river, knowing they must cross to get to the other side. The water is rushing fast, and it seems dangerous, but they have no choice. If they stand on the bank and simply think about crossing, they will never make it. They must take the first step, even if it's uncertain, even if the path ahead isn't clear. That first step is the beginning of the journey, and it's often the hardest part. But once they take that step, they gain momentum, and what seemed impossible becomes achievable. This is what taking action is like. It's that first step into the unknown, trusting that with God's guidance, you will be able to navigate the challenges ahead. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Taking action requires trust. Trust that God will guide your steps even when the path isn't fully visible. If you wait until everything is perfect, you will never move. You must take action with the understanding that each step forward is a step closer to the purpose you were created for. Real-life success stories often show the power of action. Consider Thomas Edison, who after countless failed attempts, didn't give up on creating the light bulb. It was his willingness to take action day after day, despite failures, that led to the breakthrough. He didn't wait for the perfect conditions. He acted, learned from his mistakes, and adjusted his approach until he found success. The key to his success was persistent action. even in the face of challenges and setbacks. Similarly, in your life, the act of taking consistent, purposeful action is what brings clarity and results. You may not have all the answers, and you may not know every step to take, but the act of moving forward is what brings momentum. It's like driving a car. If the car is stationary, it's impossible to steer it in any direction. But once you start moving, you can adjust the wheel, avoid obstacles, and find your way. This is the power of taking action. It doesn't matter if your actions aren't perfect at first. What matters is that you start moving in the right direction. There will be obstacles along the way, but that's where faith comes into play. The story of Peter walking on water in Matthew 14, 29 and 31 is a perfect example. Peter steps out of the boat, walking toward Jesus. But when he sees the wind and the waves, he begins to doubt and sinks. Jesus immediately reaches out to him and says, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Peter's faith was tested not when he was in the boat, but when he took action. It was in the act of walking toward Jesus that his faith was truly tested. The same applies to us. Our faith is tested in our actions. It's easy to believe in God's promises when we are comfortable, but when we take the step of faith and act on what God has called us to do, that's when our faith grows. Taking action doesn't mean you have to have all the answers or even be fully equipped. It means you trust that God will equip you as you go. Exodus 4:12 says, "Now go, I will help you speak and will teach you what to say." God is always ready to help you, but you must first step out in faith and take action. When you do, He will provide the wisdom, the resources, and the strength you need to succeed. As you wake early, pray, plan, and reflect, remember that the final piece to your success is action. Your dreams, your plans, your prayers are nothing if they are not accompanied by decisive steps. Don't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect conditions. The time is now. The path ahead may not be smooth, but as long as you take action with faith, each step forward will bring you closer to your purpose. Every action, no matter how small, propels you toward the future you desire. As you rise early each day to pray, plan, reflect, and take action, remember that success is not just about grand moments, but about the consistent steps you take towards your purpose. It's in the quiet mornings, in the decisions you make, and in the daily efforts you put in that you build the life you were destined for. With prayer to guide you, plans to direct you, reflection to sharpen you, and action to propel you, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Where you go within yourself, your nature will be materialized. But every trip you take, will you go protected? As you move forward, trust that with every step, you are not walking alone. God's guidance, favor, and strength will be with you every moment, empowering you to overcome obstacles and reach new heights. Good luck on your journey. May you walk in confidence, live with purpose, and be a light to the world. Thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself and your future. Keep moving forward with faith, and may your success exceed even your greatest dreams.